Hi Andy, this is Tony, and I read about your Facebook post last night, and I start to realize what we are trying to choose now is not in camera; it's about a system you are walking into. Like you are thinking about walking to the EFS system, the EOS ADD, which is EFS system, APS-C system. And you are thinking about the shutter speed, you are thinking about the focusing speed, you are thinking about a lot of things. And now I want to introducing the different solutions that I'm using right now for filmmaking. And for now, I can only say I'm quite satisfied with this system. This is a Sony Alpha system, the EVI camera, which means it doesn't have a mirror inside. Okay, the good side of mirrorless is you can get the very fast shutter speed like this. Okay, I think it's over 10 frames per second. I think it's definitely what you really need. The older EVI camera, sometimes without the viewfinders, will be very difficult to focusing or trying to shooting outside with a big sun because you cannot see the monitor. So Sony Alpha 6000 provides you the electronic viewfinder, so you can use the EVF to find what you need. And also they got the flip screen. This sometimes is very useful because maybe you want to shoot in the low angle, you want to shoot in the high angle. You will need a different angle of this screen. And Alpha A6000 providing you the inside flash. This one is much better than ADD. Why? Look, normal camera can only shooting the flashlight with one directions. But sometimes we don't want the light straight hit on the target we want. We need a jump light. And you know, if you need a jump light in Canon systems, you have to buy an external flashlight started by EX430. And the EX430 is $9,000 in Taiwan. So, but if you want to using the jump light with these cameras, you simply just use your hand like this. Use your hand, push this a little up, and take one. And you got yourself like a carryable jump light, and then you can push it back. Okay, talking about the filming ability of this camera can do full HD with 50 FPS. You know, when we start to make some film, we need the slow motion, and if you need slow motion, you will need the 50 FPS. So when you do the slow motion, it can be much more smooth. Okay, these are the basic side of EVIL, and also with this A6000. The price of the body is only about $15,000. So with the lenses, my suggestions will be like for you start. Maybe the 28mm f2 will be a very good start, and these two things plus together is less than $30,000 brand new. So I think you can start looking into it. And another part of this camera, of what we call EVIL, is because someday you are trying to make some film, but note my word, you want to using this to shooting film with your bare hand. It's just impossible because our hand is not steady enough. So you will need a stabilizer. The stabilizer for this age is we call the gimbal. It's what I'm using right now, like this. Okay. How are we going to use this? It's very simple. All you have to do is put your camera on this gimbal. And when you start doing this, you can see now this gimbal is just don't work. Okay, but when I push the button and turn this machine on, as you can see, okay, now it got all kind of stable, and it will follow your directions like slower, and if you need it to be moved upper, down, and if you want to change your like pen, panorama. You can do this. Okay, I turn it off. Turn it off, it just look like this. Alright, now, if you're thinking about using 80D as your camera for filming, this is my old camera. This is a 30D, which the size is exactly the same like 80D. You can see it's just simply impossible to fit in. This is too heavy and this is too big. So if you are using 80D to make film, you need a bigger gimbal, and a bigger gimbal needs more money. So as my concern, I don't want to use the very heavy machine to do filming. And also I don't want to spend a lot of money on this gimbal. And the most important of all, using gimbal require this. There's a connectors from the gimbal to the camera. For the gimbal I buy, it only compatible with Sony camera, so I cannot even using my EOS M to make films. This is my best choice. Okay, now another question is, if you want someday you will go full frame. I think for the photographer, someday you will go full frame. And what are you going to do? Simple side. The Sony providing A7 as a full frame EVIL. Kind of expensive, 55,000 NT dollars. But you got a choice. You can have all your lenses for the alpha system, and by the day, eventually you want to use the full frame camera. You don't have to buy a new lenses. All you have to do is buy an A7 camera with all your lenses together. So now you have an APS-C plus full frame, compact, filmmaking, super fast shutter speed camera. So that's what I'm introducing you to use, and let you to think about it. Good things is I have this Sony Nex C3. It's actually bought 5 years ago. Still work pretty fine, but we don't need it anymore because we have a 6000, and my wife Jenny simply don't want to use this kind of camera because she uses a cell phone to taking pictures. So this is what my sharing for you. I hope you seriously thinking about what you really get into. I mean, you know, the old camera like this is good, but if you really ask me, I will tell you, if you want to use this to make film, you have to spend more and more. This can make a movie class film, but to make a movie class film, you need to buy the bigger stabilizer. You need to have the light. You need to have all the stuff to put on it. This can do the good job, but you have to spend more. For now, for what we call the internet film, I would suggest this one. Do all the jobs, including traveling. Also, if you're using this one and Nora using this one, you can both share the fun of photography, because this one using same lenses as this one, using the same batteries as this one. So maybe someday Nora trying to make some artworks, she can still using this, because this one, you see, this is very simple, but it contains all the mode, A mode, M mode, or S mode, everything inside. The downside, it has no flashlight, has no viewfinders, but I think it's fine. Here is what I suggest, and hope you think about what you really need, and you can check about the price. And I think this one is really a nice idea for you now, because you can do all the photo shootings right now in APS-C mode. And I suggest you buy the 28mm f2. This lens has a very good quality, and can make a lot of artwork. And maybe one day you want a full frame camera, or you have to buy an A7, the full frame Sony camera, and you attach your 28mm lens, and you got it, your full frame camera. You don't need to change the system or what. So think about it.